Renee Montegro says the epic Bitcoin crash is just days away. Bitcoin is in a diamond pattern, and that is very bearish. Let's jump into the charts and see if this is true. Good morning. It is Sunday, the 3rd of December, 2023. My name is Doug from Digital Currency Traders. Today we're going to look over the fact that Bitcoin's going to go to $199,000. I'll show you the chart, but we've got some really unexpected things coming up in the altcoins right now that you've got to be prepared for. Now, before we jump into that, let's take a second to talk about our sponsor, Simple FX. This is where you can take your Bitcoin and you can trade gold, and you can trade Canadian dollar, and you can trade Japanese yen and make Bitcoin as those markets are moving. So it's a way for me to double dip as gold prices are going up. I'm making Bitcoin and Bitcoin prices are going up. Now, some of the news we've been watching recently is a MicroStrategy buys an additional 16,000 Bitcoin. They just had this millions laying around. And then Fidelity has applied to have a spot ETF. So the CBOE is the Chicago Board of Exchange, and it's a massive, massive market that is now getting into trading Ethereum. That's crazy with an exchange fund. Some more of the news that we're watching is Aurora Grace put out an article on launching a new token. Coinpedia Markets put up an article about 3 meme coins to get ready for explosive growth. These are great articles. I'm super grateful for you guys submitting your articles over on digitalcurrencytraders.com. Keep that good stuff coming. Now, I talked about Bitcoin going to $200,000, and here is the chart. You may say, how does that show me it's going to go to $200,000? Well, if I do the log chart on this, we zoom out just a little bit, give it some perspective and move it over, give ourselves a trend channel, and we look at where the top of that trend channel lines up to, and then we go back and zoom in on that, and we can see that we're up to the $200,000 range by the time we get to the top of this channel again. That doesn't mean that we're going to go straight there for sure. In my view, if we are going to go up like this in the long term, then the place to watch for a buy signal is after we've come back on an extreme, and to sit and just be long until we come back into those extremes and look for picking up a position there. And now let's go into whale feeding zone and shark feeding zone. If we see in the 12-hour, the bands have widened out, and this is giving space for the price to go up in my view, as the bands are widening like this. So now if we go over to the 4-hour time frame and see where those are lining up, the 4-hour is outside the 12-hour, and that usually is the end of some energy. It's running out of steam there. Now if we go into the 1-hour time frame, this has been great because it's been pinching down and then pinching down, and now we're pinching down again. And it gives us a place to look for the 1, 2, 3 formations where we came outside the third standard deviation, and now we're coming in to make a double top while it's pinching down. So for me, as it's doing that and we get the 4-hour just coming outside the 12-hour, it could continue on, but this is a weekend move, so I'm anticipating that the sharks are going to be taking their bite out of this, and the whales are going to be taking their bite out. So the whales could bring it down to the bottom of the 4-hour bands, and that's just sort of natural flow of the markets. So the next part of the show I want to go over is the alt season co-pilot and see what's going on there for some of these alts and compare it to what's going on with Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance has been rising a little bit, and we're at these tops, and it's showing some strength and rising, and it could go up. Some of these alts could continue to make less gains than Bitcoin if Bitcoin's continuing up from here. And yet our whole plan is to continue watching for Bitcoin dominance to top out, because we are already seeing a bunch of the coins passing our entry signal right from, let me clear off all this stuff and get Bitcoin out of this way. Open this up. Doesn't quite fit, but if I look at the chart above, this top in Bitcoin dominance matches exactly where the bottom in our spreadsheet turned out. So right up here above the chart is our spreadsheet, and that shows where dominance hit the top. Now through this period of time, as dominance has made this potential top formation here, you can see all of the coins went into alert status, then we had a bunch going into hold status, and now everything's come back into partial hold status, alert status, and hold status. We can see that 2/3 of the pie here is already determined where it's going to be. The rest of them are neutral. They haven't even come up enough to give us a formation that we should be buying into or looking at yet. But we certainly should be looking at all of the coins that we have in hold status because they have a potential to pull back right now, actually. So let me invert this chart now. Invert this chart, and I'm going to change to a different scene so that we have the TA. If this is a typical cryptocurrency, then its price has been coming down as Bitcoin prices have been going up. And that's making a bottom formation now where it's hit the lowest price it's made. It's come up and it's consolidating now. And this is what the average of the group have done. But some of them we know have hit a bottom and they went way up here like this. So if I go find the chart for SOL, we already know that that one did. Oh, I got some up here. Let me invert this again so that's correct. So we can see how much SOL has come up now. And it's making a 1, 2, 3 top formation. It's crossing over. Our EMAs will be crossing over soon. So the 4-hour touched, but they'll come back and touch right away if we go sideways and it breaks this 1, 2, 3 top formation. This is where we'd be looking to be taking our profits. And we'd also look for the potential for all of these first movers to come back to the 50% level on either a sharp popcorn move that consolidates and goes right back up, or a move down and then it makes a 1, 2, 3 and consolidates something down into the 50% range, or even down to the 38.2 range. And then whenever it makes a bottom formation, and we have the break of that downtrend line, this is when we would be looking to add on to our position here. So our original position then would be added on to from here. This is our second add-on where we could really load up on the position. We know that the whole market has changed direction. Now, this is a safe place that we could be adding on to all of these coins. So that's stage 4 of the trade that you learn by getting this free PDF, and you'll go through all 5 stages of the trade so that you see when to be getting into the trade, when, let the market have its breath and it'll come back, and then we can add on to that trade really, really large there. This is where the pros are going to really make the bacon because everything has proven direction change. So we could see the same thing with what's another one that did a big move. Link did a big move. It's making a double top right now. And it certainly could come back to that 50% or the 33% level just to wreck everybody. There's no other reason for it. It'll just come back to here and wreck everybody, or maybe even down into here. So anybody who's got 10x leverage, you're wrecked here. No, this is 25x leverage. And then the 10x leverage guys get it here, and they're going home crying, and then everything takes off. But if you had this plan from the beginning, you would already know that this is where you put in your little bit of money, and now you're getting ready with the 2 bats. Now you're getting ready with the big trade down here. So we got some unexpected moves coming up in altcoins. Everybody's got their eye to the sky, and I think there's going to be a lot of crying instead. But I really don't know the future. I'm not making a prediction, and I didn't say this should be your trading plan. What I'm doing is I'm talking about how the market is moving through our written trading plan that was written back in 1998, actually, and then refined from 2015 on. And so these markets are going to be going way up, and it's going to be super dangerous. There's going to be great, fantastic opportunities when prices come back to these levels, and we're going to be looking for that in the Bollinger Bands. Where'd that go? So here in the Bollinger Bands, we'll look for those kind of markets where, let's go and find the same chart that I just did. Perpetuals, Solarium, 12-hour, daily. So we can see here how much it went up from, wow, really amazing. That's an old chart that I did. And look at how it hit those levels. Crazy. So I do expect that it's going to come back for some massive pain, and there's going to be that add-on position. Woo. It will go up to $100, but first it's going to liquidate everybody who's got into the late bull, reading all the news instead of getting the trading plan in place. So now the rest of us, we're going to be looking for this to come back to the 3-day. Oh, please, not that far. The 3-day mid level in here. If I go out to the 1-day, yeah, and it's starting to match up to where some of the Bollinger Band levels are. So we certainly could have that skewer backwards into these levels and liquidate everybody, consolidate. And that's going to be where the big money is going to be, is when the price goes outside that third standard deviation and you're ready for it. Anyway, I've gone on way too long on this video. Super grateful to have you guys along. Good luck in all of your trading. Look at these. Just get in here, diversify a little bit into some of these coins. Love to have you along. Trade safe and keep those losses small.